A fond farewell? Is that what we were calling it?
It's Dear John, and stick with your gun.
Look at this, just a circle of nefarious characters in a parking lot. Pre-recorded live from the pinnacle of his career, it's the Derek Luna Show. This week, the Derek Luna Show talks with Old Man Willie. Plus, a fond farewell. Was that what we were calling it? A fond farewell? Nobody cares. Nobody pays attention. But now, he's going out for a pack of cigarettes, and you may never see him ever again. It's Derek Luna. Okay, yeah. So my friends are getting, all my rowdy friends are here in the parking lot. We got Russell Henley over there. We got Harrison Bitch Street. Corbin LeMaster came back into town. So yeah, we're here outside Corner Pocket. We're battling loneliness out on the road, and so we all came together on this Thursday to do a little open mic and hang out in a nefarious looking parking lot across the street for probably some nefarious reasons. But anyway, this week's episode, we're getting ready to head off to Denver and then Las Vegas. This week's episode, we're doing a Derek Luna Show talks to Old Man Willie. We've been wanting to get him on the show for a while. He just turned 92 years old. They had a birthday party for him. Seemed like a fun time. I didn't make it out for the party, but I did get this interview about a week or two before his birthday festivities, and so it's coming out now. It was a fun time talking to him. He's an inspiration. What else? I had dates this weekend. 16th, 17th, we're going to be at the Denver Comedy Lounge. And then next week, we start the World Series of Comedy with our first satellite in Las Vegas at the LA Comedy Club in Las Vegas. So we're excited for that. We're going to be bringing you a ton of crap from that, a bunch of cool interviews, a bunch of cool jokes installments where we get to see some of the action on stage, and a couple of road docs, starting with one that we're going to do next week where I head out to Denver and climb those Rocky Mountains. But yeah, I think that's all we had for this fond farewell as we head out on the road. Do you guys have anything you wanted to add? These guys, this is my writing staff and frequent guests of the Derek Luna Show. Woo! I was asking them, you know, for advice on what we should do, and this is how bad it turned out. So, blame them. Enjoy the interview with Old Man Willie. Peace!
4 simple words. He came, he went. Had a woman cab driver last night. As soon as I get in the cab, I said, take me to the cheapest whorehouse in town. She said, you're in it. She says, old fella, I'll take you around the world for $100. I said, here's 20, let me off at Joplin. She started to check me out. She says, you know you have an awful small organ. I said, lady, I hadn't planned on playing in the cathedral. I started to check her out. I said, Jesus is big, Jesus is big. She says, you don't have to repeat yourself. I said, I'm not repeating myself, that's the echo. She says, what are you going to use for protection? I said, for starters, I'm going to tie my feet to the fire hydrant so I don't fall in. I'll tell you, she had the hairiest looking crotch I've ever seen in my life. It was so hairy, it looked like she had Willie Nelson's head in a leg lock. He's a very pleasant man.
You know, for Christmas, I gave all the younger comics some of my old albums from the collection. I had some old Jonathan Winters, some old Carlin albums, and Cheech and Chong. I had those albums. Trying to school the younger generation.
Well, the ones you mentioned, they were prior to 1960.
Yeah.
60. They weren't does the vaudeville type one-liners and the bang, bang, bang. There's the joke left.
Would you say that's your generation of comedy?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, let's introduce our guest here. This is the Derek Luna Show. I'm here with the legend himself, Old Man Willie.
The man who put theatric and geriatric.
Are you holding that where we were during sound? Yeah, let's make sure we...
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, make sure we get all this. This is... I've been wanting to do an interview with Old Man Willie since I started this show. He's a legend here in town. I'll just tell you my perspective on it, and then we'll get Old Man Willie's take. So you've just always been around, as far as I can remember, in Springfield doing comedy. You were the only guy who did comedy for the longest time. You were just the only guy around
That's
doing
true.
it.
True.
Back when they had Sir Gregory's
True. Yes.
in town, where it was like there was this guy who was there, Old Man Willie. You got to go check this guy out.
Yes.
And then when I moved back, I was pumped to see that you were still here, still doing it, still doing shows every weekend. And yeah, I was just blown away the first set. I mean, it's a classic act, right?
Yes. I personally feel like most of my jokes go back at least 50 years for some reason. I can go down the line. Every one joke I come out, it seems to be the roots of 50 years ago or 60 years ago. Like this evening, like the my opening line where I was able to crack a 6 this morning, took a brisk walk to the bathroom, was back in bed by 6:05.
Yeah.
Henny Youngman 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Word for word.
It's a lot of old-timey fastballs is what I like to call them, because it's just one-liners a lot. Like, if you've never seen Old Man Willie, you should, but that's the style. It's an old-school 50s style, 50s sort of style of just fastballs.
Yes. It's the thing is that it seems very easy to just tell jokes, but there's something about telling one-liners. If you don't, you have to have a special delivery. Like nowadays, many of the comedians, they do not have a delivery to deliver a joke. I've hate to have many comedians, but for some reason they don't know how to deliver a line.
Yeah.
Whether it's a breathing or a thought or something, but it's a mystery.
The timing, yeah, is missing in a lot.
Before I used to watch every comic say, which I get that joke off and that joke off and that joke. Nowadays, there's no one I get a good joke off. I got to go back to YouTube to people back in 1950.
The classics.
60. Yes.
So how long have you been in Springfield doing this?
Exactly 25 years.
Now, I want to dig into the history just a little bit before I make you play 20 bad questions. I heard this from you. I used to drive you back and forth to gigs, and you said you started in New York as a magician.
Yes.
That's interesting to me.
Yes. No. I worked as a bartender. That was my occupation, and I used to do tricks behind the bar, and then I expanded, and I expanded, and I was like the Catskills and on the Magic Convention, so forth and so on down the line. And I think I was doing better getting gigs as a magician than as a comedian there.
Those damn magicians getting all the work.
Yeah, it seems everyone wants somebody my kid got to see you. They may not like you so well, my kid got to see you.
Yeah, I guess you're getting more of a kid crowd there too, probably. Right?
And you had to work it very, very clean. Anytime you deal with in magic facilities, and they really mean it there. They can one off-color word, and you're out of the box.
That's interesting too, because your act is not clean. It is one of the dirtiest jokes I've ever heard.
On a serious note, my cousin Dave died last week at the age of 87 while having sex. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was alone at the time. According to the medical report, he beat himself to death. And on his tombstone, they had these 4 simple words. He came, he went. But emphasize it, I rarely ever use any profanity.
That's true.
The imagery.
It's sexually explicit. It's
not sexually explicit either.
You're not descriptive, no. Yeah.
It's not the that visceral like women comics. That's where they missed the boat.
They get graphic.
Yeah,
That's your opinion?
Yes, but B, it's there's a normal function there. But
I don't know if that's just lady comics, but I've experienced that too, where you get more descriptive and you get graphic,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden they start getting grossed out.
yes, I'm just saying something. Say, now I believe they say you can use profanity just lower your standard. That's it. There, it's just people they'll tolerate the imagery, but they won't tolerate the language.
Yeah.
Because I even went to the bar. I went to the bar sometimes in here with in Brooklyn, the rough bars and tough bars and everything. The guys would be sitting at the bar. Get rid of that guy. Christ, it's too much. Take rid of the bar.
Yeah, and it a lot of times will make some stuff more funny.
Yes.
If you find a more interesting way to say it than just like.
I asked John Fox, an old-time comic, if I said, "Shall I use the F word in this joke?" He said, "Just forget about it. Just say the F word."
Yeah, yeah. Did you
Because
forget the
it
joke?
seems to water down it waters down the punchline because the joke comes at the setup, and then some people use it as a punctuation mark.
Yeah. You see that a lot too. I was going to ask about the Catskills, because you see it in a lot of TV shows that comics would go up and play the Catskills, and I guess it's entertainment of all types.
Yes.
What's that like? What is that?
Well, I got it the two times I went there. 2 times there. Once in the Concord and once Grossing is there. But that was after the Catskills wasn't the Catskills where they all the strictly Jewish clientele
yeah.
and the Catskills decided going to Vegas. So it was in the tail end. So they run magic conventions and so forth.
They let in the
and they changed it. They wanted the business, so they take magic conventions and so on.
They let in the Gentiles. That's how that.
No, not Gentiles, but no, but the Catskills had a short life there.
Yeah.
A short life. Once the airlines came in, the flying to Vegas and so forth.
They could go take a vacation somewhere else.
The big
yeah.
hotels. They just ripped them.
Early 50s, late 50s.
When the jets came out, about 1970, that was the end of it.
Oh yeah, when it got
in the 70s.
More affordable to fly on vacation. That's interesting. So then you moved to Springfield?
Yes.
What brought you to Springfield? You had family here?
I belonged to the Assembly of God Church. There was a and I saw an advertisement. And I thought it'd be something to try, and I came out there. That's it. There.
And you just came out?
It is strange. It was a home for retired Pentecostal ministers.
And that's what brought you out here. I've never heard that story.
Yeah, that's true.
That's wild.
Home for Pentecostal ministers.
Boy, what a nomad you are. You're just moving all over the place just for on a whim.
But now, from what's going on in New York, I am very, very happy I'm out of there. To be quite frank with you, I would not want to. I would like to go back to see the change of the drastic change with the Brooklyn and so forth. But otherwise, I could not survive.
Yeah, I feel similarly about moving back from L.A. It's like I moved right before the pandemic, yes. And it's just getting so wild out there. Like, so many issues with the big cities. I
had no problem in New York City. I worked nights all the time. I traveled subways at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
You never been mugged or anything?
No problems. I saw characters, but you don't bother them. They don't bother you, but most of the cases. Well, if you see something happening, just walk away. But I felt perfectly safe.
I never got any trouble in L.A. either. I don't know. I think if you're paying attention to what you're doing, most people I think who get mugged, it's like a crime of opportunity, right? Like they're not paying attention to what's going on. I don't know. What was I going to ask next? We're getting way off in the weeds. Shoot, what was my next question? I can edit this out. We were going to play 20 bad questions at some point. Is that okay with you?
That's with me. I don't even know what you're talking about, to be quite frank with you. It's pretty bad questions.
These are already pretty bad questions.
I've given pretty bad answers. So
will you tell my favorite? You had a new joke that you threw out about your new cologne. Will you tell that one at least? That's my.
It's a visual one there.
You got me. You tricked me into taking a sniff. What is it?
Well, I have tried this new cologne there. Would you? Spell it.
You have a new cologne?
Yes. No, I forgot the punchline.
New cologne. It's called "Come to You."
Oh yeah, "Come to You." But yeah, that's.
He gets me to smell his sleeve because he goes, I have a new cologne called Come to You.
And by the way, I got that off that great comic.
What do you think? Does that smell like Come to You? That's filthy. I think my favorite joke of yours is about tying your feet to the fire hydrant
Yes.
so you don't fall in
Yeah.
to that woman's
They're
huge.
not funny unless they're in context.
You're right. Why are we
There's
trying to do
no
this right here?
context.
All right, let's do 20 bad questions then. We got a little bit of
Okay,
your
yeah.
history. I'm so glad we're getting this on
Yes.
on record.
I hope this is a rehearsal for the real thing now.
Oh, it isn't. This is the real thing. I just wanted to say before we do this, like, you're a true inspiration to me.
Yes.
When I think about my life and what's going to happen in the future, I look to you and I say, Old Man Willie is having a great time. Oh, I don't know how much fun you're having, but you're out doing comedy every weekend. And you're crushing it. And I'm like, I'd sign up for that if I could, you know? It seems it's inspiring me that, like, the future is going to be fun because you look like you're having a lot of fun.
It's like a drug. It's like a drug, to be quite frank with you. And like any drug, it's it's habit forming.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Like sometimes you don't perform for a week or two, you get the withdrawal. Well, I used to walk around the town, and where they have the outdoor cafes, they say hello, Willie. I go because of the routine.
Yeah, you tell a couple jokes while you're out there.
I did. That was true.
I remember when you broke your hip.
Yes.
You broke your hip, and then it was a snowstorm, and you still came out to open mic that week. You got somebody to come bring you to open mic.
Yes.
I was amazed. I was like, this dude is all about it. He's hooked on it just like we are. Oh, and that's what I wanted to clarify. We believe you're the oldest active comedian today, right?
Arguably, because I've done those statistics, but I read recently where some woman, you can look it up on the YouTube or what have you, she's 89 years old and she's considered the oldest woman thing. But there are many comedians possibly much older than myself.
Yeah, possibly.
Still alive. But
How old are you again? 90?
I'll be 91 come February 5th.
91
5th.
coming up. I think we should do some research. We got to get this in the record books. Old Man Willie at 91.
Now, you see, there's probably very successful comedians there. You see, I never was a successful comedian per se.
But you're still doing it.
No, I was just... Now, you take other comedians that are my age, they can still perform, they want to perform. But now, for them, after working in Las Vegas, working in a casino, working all these great jobs, to go to an old man's home or so forth.
Yeah, they're crapped out. They don't want to even do it anymore.
Because the big shows don't want them no more.
Yeah.
And I've heard many people over the years who went and saw people working in old people's homes and so forth. They say, "I help get that way where you have to work in nursing homes."
Yeah. And you're not working nursing homes. You might be living in one, but you're
I'd say that's the only
but you're not working.
For senior citizen places, but there would be so much crush in their ego where
they can't bring themselves to do it. And you're out here in the club every weekend, getting guest spots, feature work, crushing it, Old Man Willie. Well, thanks for doing this.
Okay.
Let's do 20 questions. How about?
Okay,
And then we'll call it a day.
All right.
All right. So these are 20 bad questions. We're going to kind of just roll through them kind of quick.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Brevity.
Number 1, favorite color.
Red.
2, favorite dinosaur.
Like a lot of us.
Lick-a-lot-of-puss. Old Man Willie, everyone. Number 3, if you had to be a different race other than the race that you are, what would you pick?
Human being.
I knew we were going to get some good answers. Question 4, snakes or spiders?
Explain, what about snakes and spiders?
Just snakes or spiders?
I have no answer to it. Snakes or spiders? No.
Neither? That's an answer.
The like or what? A dislike? A non-answer is an answer.
I told you they were bad questions.
I said a
Willie.
non-answer is an answer, right?
Yes. Question 5, truth or dare?
This sounds like a psychiatric test.
You can't criticize the list. The list is the list.
Truth. I can't say
Truth.
Just for no reason.
Nobody's ever picked dare. Comedians always pick truth. That's the truth. Question number 6. If you were in a survival situation and you had to resort to cannibalism to survive, which member of your family would you eat?
My adopted sister.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like that one. Let's follow that up with some dessert. Question 7, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Vanilla.
Vanilla? What? Really? Just vanilla?
It's the first thing that comes to my mind.
No offense, brother, but that's an old man answer. Vanilla. I like vanilla too. Okay, question number 8. Who's your favorite all-time comedian? Not who you think's the best. Who's your favorite?
Each one in different category, a different move. They have many. There's so many. I see contemporary comedians. I think are funny people in the world. Like
yeah.
The one that hits me at the moment I see him. Like one of my latest ones is Steve Sweeney, a Boston comedian.
Classic,
For
yeah.
something reason, there's just something about him there.
We were talking about W.C. Fields last night. Like you do have a lot of dudes that you like. You give me a lot of books and stuff about people. Yes. Okay, so we'll just say you can't pick one.
No.
That's fine with me. Number 9, favorite sex position. Favorite sex position. You got a lot of sex
Anyone
jokes.
I can get.
Anyone I can get. Question 10. Who's your favorite U.S. president?
Trump.
Strong answer.
I don't have to think on that one.
Strong answer. Okay, Old Man Willie, you're stranded on a desert island. You're on a desert island. You get to take 3 movies. What movies are you taking with you?
The Italian westerns.
All the spaghetti. You're taking just 3 spaghetti westerns.
Yes.
Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
Clint Eastwood's my favorite too. Are there any bucket list comedy venues? Any comedy venues that you would love to perform at?
At my age, I have no bucket list. To be quite frank, there's no bucket list.
There's no It's just a list of things to do.
Just to make it to the next day.
Okay, same question about the desert island, but 3 musicians.
3 musicians?
On a desert island. Who are you picking?
Earl Gahn, the great piano player. Casati Shore is an orchestra leader. No, I'm just saying.
I have no idea who these people are.
I'm just saying. And the singer Frankie Lane.
Frankie Lane. That's the only one that even sounds familiar. Okay, well, just a couple more questions. What's your favorite holiday?
Asking me my favorite holiday, my unfavorite holiday is Christmas.
You hate Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that as an answer.
W.C. Fields also. I don't do it, but I just figured back.
You're grumpy like W.C. Fields, right? No. Okay, question 15. What's the best thing about comedy?
You can die 1,000 times. In life, you only can die once.
Question 16. Would you ever get on a motorcycle?
If there was enough people to force me to get on it, yeah, but otherwise, I'm not. Talk to me about wheelchairs and walkers, please.
Talk to me about wheelchairs and walkers.
You get me on a wheelchair, that's what I'm worried about there.
Yeah.
It's more appropriate.
Question 17. If you were a time traveler, what time would you travel to?
1940. 1933.
1933, back when you were in your prime.
That's when I was born. That's when I was at prime.
Okay, favorite place you've performed?
The Blue Room.
Give it up for the Blue Room Comedy Club. What's your favorite food?
Hot cereal.
Hot cereal. And question 20. How do you come up with your jokes?
I adapt from other people's jokes.
He's out here just openly swiping.
No, adaptation. Everybody adapts there. That's it there.
For
Now,
sure.
I could adapt the joke, and the person I adapted from probably wouldn't even recognize it.
Yeah.
Everything is adaptation there. Whether you do it consciously or subconsciously. Like a lot of comedy writers, they don't want to watch any comedians because they're afraid they'll see something, they hear something funny.
Yeah, I
That
do
time
that.
to write something that will come to their mind.
Yeah.
And they have a part of their contract that has to be original, so they try to avoid
Yeah.
hearing new material there. But there's nothing wrong with adaptation there.
Yeah.
And even the adaptation, I would not adapt it from a performer that's working in the area or someone familiar. My adaptations are from comedians who are maybe dead for the last 40 or 50
They've been dead 40 years.
Now, I think Milton Berle would mind, which was the prince of stealing jokes there would mind.
Milton Berle's
No,
not going to.
no, I'm just
He's not
asking-
going to write you a
no, but,
letter.
if I use a Rodney Dangerfield joke, I don't think he would resent it. Yeah.
Is Rodney still
No.
around? Is Rodney Dangerfield still alive?
No.
No, he passed away. That's right.
No, but adaptation, I suggest everyone to adapt their material to something else. You have to have something. You stand on the shoulders of others. But the only thing that pisses people off, if you adapt the guy's joke and it's funnier than his original, then he'll get pissed off.
Yeah, well, that would do it, right?
Yeah, that's the killer.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, where do we find you on Instagram?
I'm a 20th century guy. I don't know nothing about Instagram.
He's a 20th century man. Thanks so much, Old
Okay,
Man
thank you.
Willie, for doing this. I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
I feel embarrassed if I ever hear myself there. My God.
Yeah, right. Me too. Thanks, sir.